Globalization. It was the word of the 1990s, the rise of NAFTA through Bill Clinton, as well as the rapid growth of China and India. The world was becoming more interconnected through the spread of trade and culture. In 2018, however, one word echoes through the global trading system: tariffs. Tariffs are taxes set on foreign imports. They increase the price of imports to disincentivize their consumption, encouraging consumers to spend on domestically produced goods, increasing employment as firms boost supply to meet the increased demand. While they also protect smaller firms, who cannot compete with the incredibly low prices of foreign firms. At least that's in the economic theory. They can lead to trade wars, in which tariffs are progressively increased until one nation cracks under the economic burden. Tariffs used to be rampant in the world until the General Agreement on Tariffs in Trade, or GATT, of 1947. Before this, the average tariff rate in Germany, the UK, France and the USA stood at 32.5% in the decade prior to this agreement. Today, the average stands at just 5%, but this is far from set in stone. Beginning on the 23rd of January this year, the Trump administration placed heavy tariffs on solar panels and washing machines. However, this was only the beginning, with the 1st of June 2018 bringing a 25% tariff on steel imports and 10% on aluminium, with a further $50 billion of tariffs on Chinese goods in the weeks following.
We are putting on tariffs on certain industries. We can't lose our steel industry. Our steel industry was ready to go out of business. It was at the bottom. Our aluminum industry was ready to go out of business. Now the steel industry is thriving.
The aim of Trump and his administration is complex and varied. It's been a long time belief of Donald Trump that the USA has been taken advantage of through the mechanism of apparently free global trade.
They come over here, they sell their cars, their VCRs, they knock the hell out of our companies. They are beating the hell out of this country. Kuwait, they live like kings. The poorest person in Kuwait, they live like kings. And yet they're not paying. We make it possible for them to sell their oil. Why aren't they paying us 25% of what they're making? It's a joke.
He has targeted China especially, namely due to their intellectual theft.
That is cheap.
But this Toyota Aygo over here is only $3.5 grand.
It's not an Aygo. That's an FO.
And the fixing of their currency at artificially low levels. China gets away with murder, and so too does the rest of the world. At least in regard to exploitation of American trade, military defense and research and development, especially in healthcare, at least according to Trump and his administration. The rise of tariffs plays into the isolationist sentiments across the world. This is not only down to the world's recent terror attacks, hence the argument for tariffs on the grounds of national security, but also due to the global shift in manufacturing to regions with cheaper labour and the creation of rust belts, namely in the US states of Michigan, Wisconsin, Indiana, Illinois, Ohio and Pennsylvania. Trump won all but one of these states. To keep his promise, he had to put America first, and tariffs were his way forward. The benefit of tariffs include their benefit to starting industry, who are shielded from intense foreign competition in the globalised market. Aforementioned employment will also increase, while tax revenue generated from the tariff could go into infrastructure investment to make domestic firms more efficient. They also add to the idea of US sovereignty, and the USA standing as the economic powerhouse of the world, a view held by Trump's electorate, furthering his chances of re-election. However, tariffs do increase prices, especially in the short term, with the greatest impact on those with lower incomes. An increase of $1 on the price of milk may have little impact of someone earning a high wage, but it can make life significantly harder for those who aren't on such salaries. They can also encourage inefficiency. If firms cannot compete, many would argue that they should not be allowed to survive. Industries such as steel is moving due to the global shift, as foreign nations such as China and India have cheaper labour and better production techniques in some cases, hence the shift. The USA could produce more domestic products, but is it worth a greater cost to the consumer? The future for tariffs is uncertain. The US is in the favourable position of having a large domestic market. However, the US economy still relies heavily on foreign imports, especially microchips for companies such as Nvidia, Intel and Qualcomm. Retaliatory tariffs threaten future production in the nation, and the loss of trading partners poses further threats to the US economy. On the 26th of June 2018, Harley-Davidson announced they would move a portion of their production abroad to avoid the EU tariffs. And US car makers announced a risk to thousands of jobs as a result of Trump's planned tariffs on foreign vehicles. Despite Trump's disdain for these comments, but consensus amongst economists is negative. 80% believe there will be a net harm to the US economy, while the remaining 20% state there will be little to no effect, meaning no benefits. Trump's identity relies on tariffs, however, although where he plans to put certain parts of America first.
It's going to be only America first.
Others, at least in the short term, will lag behind. This has been Alex with International Insight. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. It really helps us out. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.